Hi, Miss Ford. So this is my video on I will be doing the baby boomer era as my creative project. And basically, it's kind of boring, but I'm basically just going to explain my information on the topic. So, by definition, a baby boom is a sudden increase of births annually. It ends when the number of births drops back down to normal, which happened after the Second World War. The baby boom era was an era in which Canada's birth rate increased rapidly between 1946 and 1965. This happened because of the improvement in the economy, and there was a trend of people wanting to have larger families. During the Great Depression, the annual rate of births per 1,000 inhabitants was 20.1, quite low even for that time period. In 1946, the birth rate had jumped to 27.2 per 1,000 inhabitants, and it had only been 24.3 the last year. Then it remained between 27 and 28.5 until about 1959, when the numbers started to decline back again. And there were three main factors that contributed to the baby boom era. The first one being that parents wanted to wait until the Great Depression was over to have kids. The second factor, that parents wanted to have more than one child in their family. Women that were born between 1911 and 1912 had an average of 2.9 children per family, whereas women born between 1929 and 1933 had an average of 3.3 children per family. These generations were separated by about 20 years, but there was still an increase of 13% of birth rates. And this was probably the most famous generation or era, because it would have been very uncommon at this time for this to happen, to have such a rapid increase of births for just between 20 years about. The third factor was half of the babies that were coming from women were women that wanted to marry at a younger age. The median age of women getting married was 23.2 years in 1940 and 21.1 years in 1950. It's quite a change. During the baby boom, a lot of couples were having their babies during the first few years of their marriage. The annual birth rate rose from 253,000 in 1940 and went up to 479,000 in 1950, but it dropped back to 419,000 in 1965 at the end of the baby boom. The oldest of the baby boomers turned 68 in 2014 technically, and the youngest turned 49 in 2014 as well. But when 1965 came along, births had gone down 8% from 1961, which marked the end of the baby boom. The baby boom lasted about 20 years, and over 8 million babies were born. In that time frame, that's about an average of 412,000 births annually just in Canada. In the 2011 census, they asked 9.6 million Canadians if they had grown up in the baby boom era, and 1 out of 3 people said they did. So that's about 29% of the whole population in 2011 said that they had grown up in the baby boom era. By 2031, all of the baby boomers will have reached the age of 65. So yeah, that was kind of boring, but that's it. That's it for my video. So thank you for watching, Miss Ford, and yeah, thanks.